Okay, what's up, filthy casuals? Here after many months with a new deck profile. This time we're going to look at another Keter encounter, Ezel. Alright, just a quick and dirty intro about this deck. It's very aggressive, low overall shield. We like to take damage early in order to enable Slash Feather Dragon on the Superior Ride, but once we Superior Ride, you kind of want to manage your damage so that you're not taking too much, that by when your opponent gets their first Persona Ride, you're kind of boned. So take a little bit, not a lot, guard until you pretty much can't really guard anymore and have to eat like 8 to 10 damage. Hopefully you win before that happens. With Platina in the deck now, as you can see right here, you have like a nice game where the turn after you Superior Ride with Platina Ezel, you want to try to get into Platina, but if you can't, you can still Persona Ride a Platina Ezel for really good numbers and try to keep pushing damage in. And then once you get to Platina, once you get to do your 5 attacks, you can, really try to put the game away. Alright, Crimson Lion Cub Kirf does what most grade zeros do. When wrote upon, if you want second, you draw a card. Gareth, when wrote upon by Bowmains, gets you the Order, which is Reign Supreme King of Beasts. This one. It gets you the Order from the deck. Bowmains, once it's on your Vanguard circle, you can discard another card. Superior Ride Blonde Ezel from your deck, from your ride deck. And Ezel, once you ride into Ezel, you cannot ride anything else but Ezels, which can be important in case you get anything that looks spicy, but Ezel says no. At the beginning of your ride phase, if you have 3 or fewer units, which includes your Vanguard, so your Vanguard and up to 2 rear guards, you can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 3, pick a grade 3 or less unit from that 3, call it to an open rearguard circle, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck. And when this attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard on the Vanguard circle, you can counterblast 1, look at the top 7, choose 2 units that are grade 3 or less, call them to open rearguard circles, and your Blonde Ezel gets plus 10k power, which is very important. Alright, that's it for the right deck. Now for the main. For our front 30, we've got this. We got 4 Platina. Main ride target, you want to try to get into this as soon as possible. If you get into this early, that helps with your defensive capabilities to help manage your damage early on in the game, because it gets +2 continuously from the cross ride from Blonde Ezel. This also copies the abilities of Blonde Ezels in your soul. So when you have 1, you get to do 1 Soul Blast and 1 Counter Blast on attack. It by itself also has an act where you can Counter Blast 1, or put a grade 3 or greater Ezel, which is either Blondes or Platinas, from your board into your soul, and you can choose the Reign Supreme in your drop, put it back in your hand. Your Vanguard Platina also gets 5k when you do that. And if your opponent is at grade 3 or greater, you also get 5k to your front row rears, very important. And if you have 4 more damage, you get +1 crit, also important. It's all good stuff. After that, we have 3 more Blondes. 2 is okay, I like 3. Helps you manage your resources. Like Counterblast is very important in this deck, so the less you have to use, the better. Also gives you more resources and gives you more copies of Blonde in the Soul, which we will get to in a little bit. And then you have 2 of the Order. Once you find 1, As soon as you ride into Platina, you pretty much have it for the rest of the game. This is the Nebula Knight order before it was cool. The plus 5,000 that you get after calling the unit from your top 7 when you use this order is actually really important. Every little bit of pressure matters with this deck because you are not built to survive really long games and really explosive games. You're trying to just get in, get out with a W. Okay, we're on to grade 2s, one of the most important units in the deck, Slash Feather Dragon. When you superior ride into Platina Ezel, you normally lose a drive, so you go from twin to single. Slash Feather undoes that for you for a counterblast on place. If your Vanguard is already at 2 drives, you can instead draw a card instead of, setting your Ezel's drive to 2. Also, when this attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, you can have it gain 5,000. If you do, at the end of the battle, you put that unit to the bottom of the deck, Energy Blast 3, and draw a card. Next, we have the promo, brand new promo, Rigorous Roar Lion. In drop, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ezel in its name, you can Energy Blast 3, check your top 7 for any Ezel, so one of these 7. Hey kitty. If you find one, great. If not, so be it. Return the roar that you use back to your deck and shuffle it. It also has continuous. If you're on Ezel, it gets boosts, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it can get 5k on attack or boost, and if you do that, it goes into your soul at the end of the battle. This is very important for basic resource loop with this card. You attack or boost with it, it goes into soul. During your next ride phase, you can soul blast it to check the top 3 cards of your deck for a unit to call. After that, now that it's in drop from your soul, you can Energy Blast 3, look for an Ezel. And then an Ezel on attack can check the top 7 cards of your deck, find another Rigorous Roar, put it somewhere on the board, and then the Rigorous Roar line goes back to soul for you to do it all again next turn, assuming you survive. Bye-bye, kitty. Okay, that's it for the grade 2s. For the grade 1s, we have 12. We have 4 Dendrine, 4 Coco, and 4 Sargon. For the longest, I did not want to put this card in Ezel, and I don't know why. This card is clearly busted. Its price tag is there for a reason, and this helps make the deck sing. Without this, you had a really tough time really packing your soul in order to soul blast 2 to countercharge 1 with Dendrine. But now that you're putting so much into your soul with Coco and with Rigorous Roar Lion, you now have the ability to countercharge pretty freely with Dendrine, which opens up counter blasting with Platina Ezel and Slash Feather. See, the thing about Slash Feather is that this is a Pot of Greed on legs, and that's just really good. Not a lot of cards do that. This card does that in the deck for a pretty good reason. It needs the help. Coco is also good for guarding the Vanguard as on rear guard circle or guardian circle. If your opposing grade 3 or greater Vanguard checks trigger, either in damage or drive check, it gets plus 10,000 power, plus 10,000 shield. So it either eats the defensive or helps guard against offensive trigger. The dog is the dog. Lots of players love this dog, lots of players hate this dog. It has really kind of homogenized Keter Sanctuary, but I'm clearly missing another particular unit that goes in order packages, and that's with good reason. But this, very good. Helps you filter, grabs you shield when you need it, helps you find Persona or just Ezels, helps you find units. You can grab this to help guard. Just a generally really good versatile card. Also really good for aggression, like you want to go first, but if you have to go second, you now have a 13k booster on your first turn. This can be 8,000 or 13 on your first turn and help you stack a trigger on the top to make that first turn really scary. Back to Din Drain, when you boost a unit with this, you can put the rear guard that it boosted on the bottom of the deck and stand it. This is really good for your 5 attack turns as you boost with it. Make that rear guard go away to open the spot for Ezel, and also restand your Din Drain to help boost, to have it boost again. What's really nice about this is that if you happen to get it with your Reign Supreme, it now becomes a 13k booster for the turn, helping you really double dip on that plus 5,000 that you got from the order. Yeah, and yeah, don't underestimate the counter charge now that you're filling your soul up with 8 cards in the deck. And lastly, the Regulus piece is Heartblaze. Persona Ride is very important. Persona Ride is the second most busted mechanic in Overdress, and without it, your units hit for wet noodles, even with Platina Ezel's 5k to the front row rears. This is nice in that you don't have to have it in your hand like Gratia Scordale. You can have it in drop and Persona Ride from there, so making this really good for ride fodder or dumping for the superior ride early game. Just all in all, a really good card. If you don't want to run Heartblaze, I think the next suggestion is Twin Cast. Defense is always appreciated, especially in a deck that has such little shield. Heartblaze can help you put games away. Twin Cast can buy you time, so it's really up to you. Okay, that was the front 30. And now we'll get on to the back 20. We got 4 perfect guards. It's Vanguard. You need perfect guards, especially in Overdress. We're on a Martinoa. So with how much we like to load the board up, this can, if you check this, you generally get 2 more drives after your Vanguard. That's why I like it. It's not just for, I mean, the pressure is good, but drive checking is also cards in your hand. You can't beat that. Eidos Faro is also good. A 9th crit is always welcome, and you get a little recursion from your drop. But this is a fun deck. This is a fun card. I think you should go for that. 8 crits. Soul crits can come up. If you're calling this, it's likely a problem, but you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, this deck is a bit of a casino. You know, sometimes you hit it big, sometimes you don't. You just gotta play with what you got. We have 3 soul fronts, right? Not soul fronts, shield fronts. 3 shield fronts, 4 heals. Do whatever you want to do with the heals. Coco can help you find heals in a pinch. Yeah, you can use restand heals if you like. I don't think crit heals are viable quite yet. You probably won't be ever, but we'll see. I know Alpac is fairly expensive. If you can't run these, I think soul fronts are good for you too. You're gonna miss the shield, but having the extra resource, you can really end up utilizing it over the course of the game. I think you won't be too sad about it. All right. Now that's that. As far as like little tricks with the game, so the thing about Platina Ezel is that it has the same effect as Glory Maelstrom in that it copies every instance of a Blonde Ezel in the Soul. So if you have 2 Blonde Ezels in your soul, you have 2 instances of the top 3 check at the beginning of your ride phase, and 2 instances of the Counterblast 1, check top 7, call 2, plus 10k to your Vanguard on swing. So when you get to this point, it really makes having a board that even looks like, that might look like this, fine. Like this can be just fine. You swing with Slash Feather and you bot deck. You swing with Rigorous Roar, you can boost with Saragon, and then you end up putting into Soul and then retiring. The Slash Feather can be boosted by this Rigorous Roar, and then you put that into Soul. Now your board is empty. But since you have 2 instances of Blonde Ezel in your Soul, you can counterblast the top 7 check twice and fill up your board again with like whatever you find. You could end up with something like this. And if you have something like this, you put something in your hand, from your hand into Soul to check the top 2. Hopefully put a trigger on there. If not, you can give Coco an extra 5k. This Din Drain, now since you have a glut of Soul from the 2 Rigorous Roars and Coco putting something else, you can countercharge, and then you can use your Slash Feather to draw a card, and now you have another Sargon activation for you, and you've given your Vanguard plus 20k from using 2 Counterblast. Like, there is a versatility in this deck that I think people haven't quite seen, and it's been a lot of fun kind of discovering these little things. So that's like the big like pop-off moment with Platina Ezel. Now, there are going to be times when you are really desperate to find like your Platina to go from Blonde, or to find a persona for your Platina, or to find even like an Ezel if you're short on resources, so that you don't have to counterblast to grab the order and then get your front row plus 5 in your crit. So what could end up happening is, if your board is fairly empty at the start of your turn, you can Soul Blast and dig for either a Slash Feather or a Coco. Hopefully you don't see an Ezel in the top 3, and then you can counterblast one with Slash Feather to draw a card and maybe hit an Ezel, or you can use Coco to put a card from your hand into Soul and then check the top 2 and maybe hit an Ezel. And then you can ride it, because all of that happens at the beginning of your ride phase. If your board is completely empty, you can Soul Blast as many times as you can, you know, with as many Blondes as you have in your Soul, to fill up your board and try to play the game from there. If it gets to the point where you would need to Soul Blast an Ezel, but you're that desperate, make sure you declare which one in your Soul that you're using, because when that Ezel leaves, you know, the ability will be gone. I think that's how it works. I don't know if it'll just fizzle if you Soul Blast the Ezel. I kind of doubt that, but I'll have to check on the ruling, and I'll put it in the comments if I can find something about that. Yeah, this deck is like fairly straightforward, but there are lots of like neat little tricks that you can use to really keep yourself in the game. I've been having a lot of fun with it, win or lose, which is not a bad thing to say about the deck, especially in this day and age. You know, just kind of call units, beat face, you know, stack triggers, do counter things. It's generally enjoyable. Okay, so that's what's in the deck. Now, here's what's not in the deck. First, it's Biscotti. This is a good card. You can put it in if you like. Discarding while you're riding up makes it less painful, especially when you have to discard twice on your grade 2 turn in order to superior ride. Just to help you keep up your hand size, but I like having Rigorous Roar and Slash Feather just get me cards and find Ezels over the course of the game, so Scotty's not in. Also, the Ace unit, really good attacker, really good at helping you build the board at any point in the game. The resist can be useful. The main issue is the lack of shield. One thing that I didn't get into, but I'm going to get into now, is managing your board in the early game. Like I said, the Soul Blast ability of Ezel to help populate a board is really good. Kind of helps you like thin your deck out as well. Helps you stay in the game without, you know, dumping cards out of your hand. But using Din Drain to just bot deck whenever, especially in the early game, can kind of hinder your ability to stay alive over the course of the game. Those intercepts that you'll end up calling can be really important. And a lack of shield in Iskadid, it hurts. I've had good times with this card, I've had bad times with this card. There's also the fact that, like, you know, you're superior calling during the battle phase, and you get like, you don't get this good stuff. You have to like really find it and hit it. So it's a little feast or famine, this card, so I've decided to keep it out of the deck. You've also got Taith Fault. See, the thing about Taith Fault for me is that Taith Fault is pretty much as good as the rest of your deck is. So maybe you cut out a lot of the 4-ofs to put in Taith Fault. Like, the numbers are great. Using Soul to find maybe find your Heartblaze or find some other unit, you know, maybe find a Din Drain or something to you know, help apply pressure is good. But I think like there's a resource economy in the deck that you know, is better utilized without Taith Fault. And the fact that she doesn't get rid of herself from the front row can be a little cumbersome, right? Like, Rigorous Roar line is very versatile in that it leaves when it attacks or boosts, so that you can boost early and try to create another column using Platina Ezel's superior call twice in the same battle phase, right? Taith Fault kind of demands that you have a Din Drain behind her to get rid of Taith Fault and reopen that front row rear yard circle, and sometimes these things just don't happen. Silverfang Witch, really good card, was great when the deck came out. Is now replaced by Slash Feather Dragon, which kind of does the same thing, but, you know, intercepts, resets the drive on your Vanguard, which is great for more pressure, and also draws a card on it with Energy Blast 3, which still works with Din Drain. Like, it doesn't have to send itself to the bottom of the deck as a cost, so it's on deck even after Din Drain bot decks the Slash Feather. But yeah, this pretty much had to go, because we can't CB all the time, and because this left, Azaltis left. One of the better things in the early game with Ezel is having a Silverfang Witch and Azaltis. I know it's really cool, really exciting to want to swing with Azaltis and get the +5 to your front row rear guards, but you don't need to push so hard and like ruin yourself defensively. Instead of, you know, adding 5k to your front row rear guards, what you can do is just bounce a gold paladin, and you would bounce a Silverfang Witch. So this would still be like a 23k column early game, and you could bounce the Silverfang Witch, put it back in your hand, and now you have an Interceptor and a Silverfang in your hand, and you can recall the Silverfang Witch if you need to, or if you can next turn, to draw another card. Cards in a card game, you know, really good stuff. Who would have thunk, right? Whereas if you boosted your front row This is gone, so you can't guard with it. This is stuck in your back row, so you can't guard with it. You can't loop it. And now, if your formation is kind of wonky, you might have too many units to then use Platina Ezel Soul Blast to try and create a good board to play with. So this is a good card, but since Silver Fang Witch left, I think there's very little reason to have this in the deck. Like, you can do a nice thing and find an Ezel somehow, call it, and then bounce the Ezel back on attack. But I think you're trying to use Rigorous Roar instead now. So this, while still very useful, half a persona is great. I just don't see how it fits in well with the deck. I could cut down some of the 4-ofs to 3-ofs and fit the Xaltis in, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Lastly is Platina Main. I liked Platina Main while it was out, just as an energy sink, right? Especially if you didn't have Biscotti. And Platina Main, I want to say it was before Slash Feather, if I'm correct, right? Yeah, this is DZ09, this is DZ03, right? So, good energy sink, good aggression, just find a unit, call it, and then it bounces itself back. So hopefully you found a grade 2 that you can, like, you know, intercept with or whatever, and then just slam it back down and just roll the dice again on building a board. Also good behind Vanguard too. Yeah. That's really it, you know? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk about Blonde and Platina Ezel. Sleeve it up, the deck's fairly cheap. Like, I know Cocoa is kind of pricey, I know Saragon can be kind of pricey. The fronts can be kind of pricey, but that's probably the easier thing to replace. But this is how I'm playing it right now, and it's been a lot of fun. Just going in, beating face. Alright, stay filthy, y'all.